So we've got a small job here that we have to do before we paint the floor. This car was fitted at some stage with some sort of inner guard mud shield. Escorts are notorious for rotting out in the kick panel area and the bottom corners here, and what somebody had obviously done and fabricated some sort of splash shields, and I guess it saved the car, but they're out now and they're staying out, so I need to plug these welds up, these holes up here, these screw holes. They're rather sort of nasty, large. Gonna maybe dress them down with a planishing hammer first, give them a little bit of a grind, and then we'll plug weld them by putting a piece of copper behind them and then just sort of welding up, MIG welding up the holes. So let's see how we get on with this. Both sides obviously. There's the other side with the holes there. They've got to go. If we don't fill them, it's just a weak spot, I guess, for corrosion further down the line. So I'm using a ball peen hammer here purely because of the shape of these things and the angle. It's difficult to get in there. Sort of knocking it down a bit. Try this one. Not really working on that one. Try the curve on that dolly there. Get it a bit tighter. So this come down now a little bit flatter. I found that the best way to do it is to pull the ball peen in the back of the hole. It's a little bit difficult to find the hole. There we go. Around there. And then glancing hits on it, redistributing the metal around it. These ones are a little bit difficult up the top there. I might just have to grind them and just fill them with weld. Cameraman's having a fit there, never mind. Let's sack him and get a new one. You can hear the difference in hammer tone when you're getting it down. Get a ring from it. So that's gone down a little. So sort of beating it in a bit. Let's just bash that bit out of it. Try and get these ones up there in a minute, but the next step is really to just to buzz those off, get the copper behind them and then weld them up. I've got what they call an angle air sander. It's not a die grinder, it's got a roller on it with a prep pad. So because I can't really get an angle grinder in here, especially up in that corner, and really I just want to take the paint back. So right up in that one. I might have to use a file and scratch into it. We'll see. Let's just get the wiring out of the way. That'll do. Okay. So I'll get the welder out and we'll plug those up. So, MIG welding torch. Gas is on. This is my piece of copper. I'll put it to mole grips just in case it gets hot or something and easier to hold. Get in a position that you're comfortable, and then you can weld. I can pretty much get everything from where I am without sort of outstretching myself. So I'm going to start this first hole here. There we go. The copper's just see the copper there. Helmet on. Whatever that is. Let's see. Brush that. May just be a little gap at the top. If I put my head around the front here, I can see. Yeah, I can just see a tiny little bit of light out the top of it, so I'll hit that again. You can see where the weld hit the copper, but obviously didn't stick to it. Right, and that should grind out now. And the next one. There's the copper there. And a little tidier. There's a copper there. Right, there we are. One, two, few of them done. Just got to do the last two up the top there. But I'm going to grind these off as well, and just check whether there's any light through them after the ground flat. And maybe just tap it straight again. It's a little bit distorted on that one. I just ground those off with a flat wheel. With the welding helmet you can just turn it off and use it as protection. It doesn't react to the light if you turn it off. But I can't get up in there with the flat wheel, so we'll use the needle sanding thingy. So just briefly, that's the the inside of the wheel arch all the way up to the top there. So we'll dress that off and re-undercoat it. Right, so that's all ground up now. There's a couple of bits of daylight popping through those ones, so I've just put another spot in there. The camera is not enjoying being under the arch here. There's a little bit of something going on there. The outer layer has got corrosion. The floor pan is still okay, so I'll do a cut. We'll just weld a new piece of metal in there now. Right, camera's not playing cricket here. It's going dark on me. So that's basically the patch, 6 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters. So I'll cut that piece of metal out, take the tape off, mark around it, cut the metal out, and then we'll weld it in there. 2.5 by 6 centimeters. File there, burr off of that. We'll clean that up later for the weld, but this is just for sizing the cut in the car now. This is my 2.5 by 6 mil patch to go in there. We'll pull that off and mark the location, the centre of that, and then we can pull those off as well. And then what I'll do is mark around it with the Sharpies. So the inside of the line is the size of that. So I get the disc and I cut on the inside of that line, pull that piece out, and we'll then fit that piece in there, butt weld it in. Should be able to peel that off. There's probably a bit of welding in there as well, but you can see that's loose there. We'll pull that out first and then work on getting that welded portion out. Bit of a difficult position to be here, upside down. So one weld popped on that already, and I'll just get that off of there. Maybe some pliers if I can find them. Well, doesn't want to pop. There we go. Right, that's perfect. So I'm just gonna knock the head off of that, and that's all good metal up there. Where's my patch piece gone? Here we go. Tiny little bit of fitting work to go on there, a bit tight on that side. Yeah, that's not bad. We'll weld that in there. Okay. This is one of those joggler combination spot weld punches. There's a joggler side and this is the spot weld side. So I'm going to spot the bottom half on the outside of this as it was originally, and then weld up the outside. Probably a couple of welds on the inside, we'll see about that. But to do that, just whack a couple of holes in here. One there and one there. And that's the hole I made for Clico, and what we can actually do with that is just weld that up later as well. Okay. There's the panel, patch panel from the inside. Weld onto some copper for that one. And that is it from the outside, and the camera keeps going dark. There we go. So before I weld that in, I'm going to take it back off. I'm going to use the Worth rust converter, let that dry, then I'll put some zinc weld through primer on it, then I'll spot weld it, and then run the stack the spots and weld it in solid. So just cleaning now up the piece to go in there. I've already put the zinc weld through primer on the car. And this is, as I said before, this is all roof, Escort roof. Just welds so nicely to the rest of the car. The material that's available locally, the new stuff, is sheet, like the 20 gauge, whatever it is. It's zinc coated and quite hard. Can't remember which side I'm on now. Okay. Right, I absolutely hate working upside down. Every spark from the grinder hits you, every spark from the welder hits you. But yeah, that's in there, that's done. It's not very pretty. Maybe we could dress that up a little bit more. But with the undercoat on there, or some sort of rust protection, you won't see it. Alright, so we're all welded up there. The patch panel is in there. We'll run some short strand fibre goo over it, and then prime it with the rest of the car later. So we're going to move on to this side now, with the luxury of not having to plate in here, I believe. A little bit of a crunch down there, which I don't like. We'll investigate that. But I'm just going to go ahead and planish these out, weld them up, and get on with it. I'm not going to record this process. You've seen it done on the other side. And so in the interest of saving time, we're just going to get on and do that. Right, these are all sort of linished and planished and whatever. So we're going to copper back them and weld them up. And I just love lying under a dash. I'm going to burn myself silly on Sunday afternoon. Cheers. And there we are, all welded. So I'll grind those in a minute. Okay. Only burnt me a few times, but I'll heal. All ground up now. And then of course, the more you look, the more you find. I don't know if you can quite see that down in there. I don't think it's actually rot, but now we've seen it, we can't ignore it. So digging we go. I thought I'd finished. I was ready to put it in primer and start painting, but maybe this is the last bit. Let's see. So I've just pulled the air unit out, and we can get up in there now. Get up in there with the scraper and the wire attachment, brush attachment for the lecky drill. I'm going to scrub that all out and get that protected. And deal with the other end when we get into the engine bay. Alright, so looks like we've dodged a bullet on this one. Because it's not actually rotten through. There was just some surface rust. And we cleaned all that up and it's solid underneath there. So out with the rust converter just to seal that off and let it do its work, and then we can get some epoxy primer on it, and maybe even put some short fibre filler in there just to move any gaps, just to seal that up. All right.